GBNews political correspondent Tom Harwood joins me now. Tom, thank you very much. Let's just start with the issue that I am leading in with today, which is Braverman's reappointment, OK? Now, I understand there are issues concerning the ministerial code, but I just want to focus in quickly on what exactly she wants to do when it comes to illegal immigration. What does she actually want to do when it comes to what's happening in the Channel, this Rwanda plan and potentially the influence of foreign courts as well?
Yes, when Suella Braverman stood, albeit briefly, for the leadership of the Conservative Party herself in the summer, she was the one person who stood on the platform of withdrawing from the ECHR, the European Convention on Human Rights, and its courts. Now, that is not the policy of the government as it stands, but clearly that is where the Home Secretary's heart lies, and that informs a lot of her ideas around how to tackle the issues of the small boats crisis. Now, it is clear that this Home Secretary has put the small boats crisis right at the top of her to-do list in terms of how to bring down the historically high numbers, tens of thousands of individuals crossing the Channel in that very dangerous way, pressed as they are by illegal criminal gangs, people trafficked as well by those gangs that operate in northern France. It's clear that it is a key it's a key vision of hers to get that sorted. However, there haven't been many public indications as to the routes by which that may be done. Many private suggestions, many reams of newspapers have been written on this issue, and many suggestions have come from, not the least, backbench members of Parliament. But in terms of what the Home Office is committed to doing, that remains relatively quiet. One of the interesting points around, indeed, the resignation of Suella Braverman a week ago today was that the letter, the policy that was sent in breach of the ministerial code, we should say, from a private email address to people outside of the Home Office. Who was it being sent to? Well, what some might describe as a maverick backbencher, Sir John Hayes, someone who has spoken for many years about illegal crossings in the Channel, and someone who it does appear that the Home Secretary was leaning on for a lot of advice and consulting with to a huge degree in terms of what policy may be arriving or indeed being delivered. And so the issue, to some extent, was that outside consultation, was that communication with someone who was not in the Home Office but acting as an advisor on that area to a great degree. Now, that is, of course, the official reason for this resignation, but clearly there were policy disagreements, and indeed it was a rocky time in Liz Truss's premiership as well. We all remember it was only a week ago, it feels a lot longer. It was that night of the vote on fracking in the House of Commons, where you had people being manhandled through the voting lobbies, people in tears, people shouting, all sorts of frankly juvenile scenes that you would not expect from the country's elected representatives taking place in the division lobbies of the House of Commons. There was clearly a lot more going on that evening. The Truss premiership was deeply unstable, but also there were rumours that the Home Secretary was about to freewheel with her own speech on reducing migration the next day, something that Liz Truss did not want to do. So I think it's hard to overstate all of the different moving parts within this resignation, not just simply sending the wrong email from the wrong email address.
Thank you very much, as ever.